When I was a kid, I rode my bike outside all day with my neighborhood friends until my mom yelled at me and told me it was time for dinner. How many of us have heard that story from our grandparents or our parents? They had a community unlike what most of us have today. It was small. It consisted of friends and family who lived in a few blocks radius from one another. But what about today? The community doesn't just exist in our small neighborhoods anymore. It exists in our city, our country, and all over the globe. Technology has allowed us to make those connections with so many others on timescales faster than we've ever seen before. No more do we have to wait for the mailman to deliver the letter from our pen pal that was written over a month ago. But how do we take the connections we make and bring it back to our neighborhood? How can we use those connections and help bring it into education? There was a time when classrooms were filled with eager children sitting at their desks waiting for the teacher to stand up in front of the room and teach them the lesson of the day. And in a lot of classrooms across the country, the same type of teaching style continues to happen day in and day out. Unfortunately now, instead of students looking eager, they get bored, wanting to go home and get on their technology device of choice and connect with the outside world. Why shouldn't every classroom look like this? Students engage with other students within the classroom and potentially in the district, state, or even other parts of the world. How can we help give the students the tools to be more engaged in learning? The one thing that can greatly help is the fact that students now have easy access to generally at least one form of technology on their own and potentially even more at school. Computers, tablets, and even smartphones can be an access point to connect students to anywhere around the globe. But how can this technology help us? There are abundance of free or low-cost web tools that allow students to use three very important tools, what I call the 3 C's of learning. Those C's are collaboration, creation, and communication. What tools students can use will depend on their age, skills, and access, but there are tools available for the needs of all students that can help them learn these important skills. Learning to collaborate is such an important skill in today's workforce that why shouldn't students start learning that skill from an early age? Google and Microsoft both have free tools available to schools that let students easily share ideas on writing papers, analyzing data, creating presentations, and more. The best part of any of the collaborations is that people can work on the same project while being in the same room, across town from each other, or even on the other side of the world. Students now no longer have to wait for that important person to come to their school and have that face-to-face conversation. We can use programs such as Skype and Google Hangouts to connect students with leaders in the field with just the click of a button, making field trips on a day-to-day basis. Students can also initiate conversations through Facebook and Twitter, and even through classroom systems such as Edmodo. Conversations no longer have to end when the bell rings at the end of each day, and these conversations can continue to happen between teachers, students, and outside observers at any time. Now, while communication and collaboration are crucial skills to helping people connect with the outside world, what so many people want to do is ultimately create. There are a multitude of programs out there that will help both teachers and students along this journey. Students who like writing can make blogs, and students who like making videos can find ways to make their voices heard outside of their own rooms. And for students who show interest in computers, there are simple ways to get them introduced to coding at a young age, even without having to worry about the nitty-gritty details required in something like HTML or Java. These are only small examples of what can be done with just some simple guidance from teachers and the rest of the community. The world as we know it today is shrinking at a fast pace. It's our job as educators to help kids navigate this world and help them find a voice in their own community. Thank you very much.